Hey everybody, Drew here. Welcome to lesson 1 of the sequel to the Play Better Blues course. Today we're going to be going over Delta blues style, and we're really going to be utilizing the whole instrument to create a very big sound, and that's what Delta blues is all about. I'm going to be playing an acoustic guitar today. This can be done on electric or acoustic. And Delta blues very much influenced a lot of rock and roll. So if that's more your preference and style, this is definitely something to check out. But start with the chord chart in front of you. It's called the E7 chord. Take a close look at that. And we're going to look at our left hand and get a real close look at what we're doing here. So first thing I want you to notice is we're going to use our second and third finger. The second finger is playing the 3rd fret of the B string, and the 3rd finger is playing the 4th fret of the G. Now that might be kind of a stretch. These two fingers don't like to spread apart, so this might be kind of hard for you. If it is, I will allow you to use your 1st and 2nd finger just this once. It is a little bit easier for some people to do this. However, if you can get away with it, 2nd and 3rd finger is definitely the way to go. It's more correct, and it'll be easier because we have this 1st finger available to get back down into open position and play some cool licks. So with our right hand, I want you to hit your open E string, and then we're going to play the G, the B, and then the open E again on the very bottom. Now, hopefully all of them are ringing out and they sound just great, but if not, chances are it's probably this bottom open E string that may not be ringing out. In that event, make sure you're arching your fingers a bunch. Make sure you're keeping that thumb behind the neck, because if it's not behind the neck, it's really difficult to arch those fingers. Another thing to keep in mind is make sure the neck is straight. You're not slouching the neck. Make sure it's very vertically straight up and down. Even though it's hard to see, that will allow us to arch our fingers a little bit more. Now, if you're still not getting all that bottom E string to ring out again, you can use 1st and 2nd finger, and that usually makes it a little bit easier to arch. These fingers are more dominant. We use them more, so they are easier to get an arch out of. But again, if you can use 2, 3, definitely go for that. So let's just go through them again. Now, basically what we're going to be doing, you may remember from the first blues course, we're going to be playing some triplets. And triplets were basically a group of 3 notes, counted 1, 2, 3. So what we're going to be doing is hitting our open E string first, and then doing 2 triplets on this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Just like that, pretty simple. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now to really spice it up, I want to add a slide at the beginning of each triplet. Now the trick to sliding, we're going to lower everything by 1 fret. So now my 2nd and 3rd finger are on the 2nd fret of the B and the 3rd fret of the G. We're going to pluck them there, slide them up a fret, back to where we were originally. And the trick here is to start with really good fretting, meaning your fingers are all the way up on the fret, and we want to finish with really good fretting. If the start or the finish is off with as far as the fretting goes, the slide will not ring out. And again, we're going to put the slide at the beginning of each triplet. So it's like slide 2, 3, slide 2, 3. Sounds pretty cool already. Listen to it with that open E string in the beginning. And let me do that once more. Now one thing you may notice is with my thumb behind the neck is I keep it planted even when I'm sliding. And I use that kind of plantation of the thumb to push my fingers and slide them from fret to fret. I'm not sliding my thumb with my fingers. There's way too much resistance on the neck to do that. So that might help as well with the slide. Now the slide is optional, so if you're really having a hard time with it or if you don't like the way it sounds, you don't have to do it. Now let's take a look at that first measure on there. You can see we had our open string, the 2 slid triplets, and then we have 2nd fret of the G, pull off to open, and you probably remember the pull-offs from the last blues course. Although that is optional. If you want to pick both of these, that's cool too. And then 2nd fret of the D. And then we finish with the open E again. So let me walk you through that last little part. It's pull off from 2nd fret of the G to open, and then 2nd fret of the D, and then we finish with open E. So the entire first measure would be this. The open E string, 2 slid triplets, 2nd fret of the G, pull off to G, 2nd fret of the D, and then open E. And I'm just going to play that a couple of times for you so you can hear it. So that time I didn't do the pull off, still sounded cool. Here it is with the pull off. So there you have it. Basically what we're going to be doing in our next video is the same exact concept, but we're going to be doing it with an A7 chord. Pretty soon we're going to go through all the different chords of a Delta blues and we'll wrap it all together in this first part. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.